Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme. Hamilton boss Martin Canning says he's on the hunt for 3 players. Hearts continue their spending spree, and we'll assess where the most likely destination will be for a cup shock this weekend. Gordon Smith is with me here in the studio, and I'm delighted to say our boot-room guest is Motherwell midfielder Keith Lasley. Delighted to have you with us, Keith. Of course, Scottish Cup at the best of time. There's always the chance of a wee cup shock, and none more so for you than you're hoping it's Ibrox on Saturday.
No, definitely. It's a tough draw, there's no doubt. But no, we feel as if we can give a good account of ourselves. I think we did that last time we were at Ibrox, which was important for us to take the confidence from that. We ended up losing the match, unfortunately, but I think MD was there that day would say we certainly deserve something from that game. And the manner of that performance, it certainly gives us confidence that we can go there and do that again. Yeah,
I always remember you telling me that Mark McGee, first time around, Motherwell played some of the best football that you've ever been involved in. Can you see you getting there again under his second period?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think obviously the first time he came, I think we just hit the ground running. I remember that season we won, I think it was 6 out of our first 7 games, and we almost just seemed to kind of gather pace off the back of that and take momentum right through at the end of the season. This time it's been a little bit more stop-start. A few more comings and goings, I think, in terms of personnel. And I think, I think probably now is the first time he's had everybody fit and available to him. So that's, again, hopefully bodes well for the second half of the season. As I said, I think we've had some good moments, good games in terms of the way we've played. But we've probably just not quite hit the heights that we did under his first tenure, if you like. But hopefully this second half of the season we can start to get back up there.
Yeah, and with that in mind, as a midfielder, I presume you'll appreciate more than most you've got 2 goal scorers.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, look, any successful team, I think, needs somebody that can put the ball in the back of the net. We've got that, and there's no. Unfortunately, we hope we can keep a hold of him. That's the thing in this particular month. But I'm sure we can, and the guys up front are doing a fantastic job, and hopefully we can just give them enough service to get enough goals, because we feel as if that is one thing. If we can get them the service, then they certainly will find the back of the net. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, Scott McDonald, Gordon, has always been a goal scorer. Louis Moult has just been a welcome addition in that side.
Yeah, I think they match up well too. I think they're a good combination, and that's important as well. If you're going to play 2 strikers, it's good that they can actually play along with each other. They've got contrasting styles, but they're both goal scorers, as Keith said. And I think that they'll be a threat to Rangers, because there's no doubt about it. Rangers have had difficulties at the back at times, and they've been a bit vulnerable. And therefore that's why I think that Motherwell have to compete in certain other positions, and as long as they can do that, then they've always got that threat up front.
Yeah, I presume Moult is the one that obviously people will be looking at. I think he scored one of the goals of the season. I mean, it's up there with Koulibaly's. Koulibaly's is just a little bit of skill and then a fantastic strike. Moult's technically was superb.
Yeah, I think there's so many aspects to it. I think even the run itself, to peel off the back of Toure, and then the awareness to see Gordon was off his line, and obviously the execution. So I think he's shown a lot. Gordon will tell you better than me, but a lot of parts of to be a good striker, what you need, and he's shown that more and more. And I think more so than anything, from a midfielder's point of view, how hard he actually works defensively, even, and that maybe goes unnoticed a little bit, because his goals are obviously taking the headlines for as they do, but how hard he actually works on a Saturday and works at his game during the week is really, I think, pushing him to another level now.
Yeah, and you've mentioned that it was close the last time. Obviously Kenny Miller with a late strike denied you at least a point at Ibrox. What do you have to do in this type of game to provide Motherwell with the shock?
Well, I think a very similar type of performance I think we would be happy with. I mean, I think we were caught a little bit at the end of that match. A couple of individual errors from us really to initiate the Rangers goals that day, but as Gordon says, we feel as if we've got people capable of scoring goals, so we need to do the other side of the job, and if we do that and play as we did that day, then we know we've got a goal or two in us. If we can do that other side of the game correctly, and that's we've been working all week on a specific game plan, if you like, and hopefully if we can do that, then we're more than capable.
Does that game plan actually take into account the fact Rangers could kind of one style or another? The fact because they've been playing obviously with 3 centre backs, and then Lee Wallace is back this week. I think Tavernier's out as well. So are you taking into account having a game plan to suit both styles?
Yeah, of course. I think the manager and Faddy have watched a lot of their games. Recent games, as you say, they've changed their personnel, have changed their shape. So we have been working in a couple of different variations all over the park, and whatever they do, we'll adjust accordingly, and hopefully, as I say, we'll adjust, but hopefully in doing that we're still concentrating on our own game, because I think when you go to Parkhead and Ibrox and the tougher venues, you do have to do a defensive job, but you've got to remember to play yourself as well, because if you don't, you spend 90 minutes defending, and that's what we don't want, because eventually, if you spend your 90 minutes, no doubt you will eventually, you'll get that sucker punch that will do you. So we need to make sure we're punching back, and we're in a position to do that. So that's part of the master plan. Hopefully it comes off.
Okay, Rangers Motherwell's the early kick-off on the Saturday. Of course, your great rivals Hamilton Accies are going down to Kilmarnock. Gordon, your old side face a job holding on to Koulibaly. You just wonder what's the breaking point where they eventually decide to cash in. Yeah,
I mean, it just depends what sort of money they're looking for there, but he's a key player. As Keith mentioned there, you need people putting the ball in the net, and that could be the difference between staying up or going down, having a great run in the cup. So I know he's had such a good run. They brought in some players, but as I say, when you've got a key player like that, somebody puts the ball in the net, you've got to think twice about whether you would allow a player like that to go. That'll be a tough tie to have anyway, Kilmarnock, but they might be out of the cup and then decide that it's time to move on and get some money in, because they brought a lot of players in on loan, as you know, and some of signings. I think they made a lot of changes there, but they really do need to concentrate more on the league than they do in the cup.
Yeah, well, I think players coming in could be the key to success for the clubs battling to avoid playoffs and relegation. Hamilton, I think they might be involved in it. Martin Canning knows only too well what it's all about as far as playoffs are concerned, and he's on the hunt for not 1, not 2, but 3 players.
We've lost 1 or 2 players as well. I'd like to try and bring some more in. We're working very hard on that, and hopefully we can get, like you say, I'm looking to get a right back, a left back and a striker if I can. We've been close a couple of times in the last couple of weeks thinking we're going to get things done, and it hasn't quite come off for one reason or another, so we'll keep on working. There's people out there, but it's just a case of being patient and trying to get deals done.
Well, the stats are there for all to see, Gordon. Draws are killing them.
It's absolutely. I mean, there are more draws, I think, than anyone as well. And I think maybe he sees that as well. He's talking about a couple of full-backs, obviously, to try and defend, because they're giving away situations. But a striker is so important for them, because the big success had a few years ago when the people putting the ball in the net. You can't always rely on, like says, you get Ali Crawford in midfield, who's the most creative, gets goals. They need another striker, and I think he's right.
Yep. In other news, Hearts are continuing to strengthen their squad. Andras Struna is the latest addition to the Hearts squad. He's off the back of Mallory Martin. It's a Slovenian right back comes in, and of course there is interest from Ian Cathro in Michael O'Halloran. I mean, Keith, I'd be gobsmacked if Rangers let him go on loan, especially to one of the rivals for second place.
Yeah, probably, more so if they let him go to Hearts, who obviously are a very close rival to them at the moment in the league. In terms of O'Halloran leaving, I think the player himself would be frustrated. It doesn't seem to have quite, happened for him at Rangers so far anyway. And with Rangers bringing in another couple of players, I think earlier in the week, or the tail end of last week, I'm sure, possibly chances might be limited even more. So I can understand, Michael himself, if that's the case, he wants to get out and play, because as every footballer does. But yeah, when Hearts win is maybe a little bit of a surprise in terms of how close they are to each other in the league, and probably looks as if they will challenge each other for that, second, third, fourth positions. Yeah,
no surprise Motherwell, St Johnstone and Ross County are the other clubs linked with them.
Yeah, well, Yeah, hopefully we can put parts to the post there. But look, I think every club at this stage of the season, they're always looking for that player that could maybe give them 5 to 10 goals, or assist 5 to 10 goals that could give you 2 or 3 places in the league. That's the way it is at the moment. You see the league, how tight it is. One player could be the difference.
Yep. Okay. Coming up after the break, we'll hear from Darren Young, of course, Albion Rovers, with a money-spinning tie against Celtic. We'll hear from Darren Young. We'll hear more from Keith Lasley. Maybe we get a chance to chat to him about his coaching qualifications and a foreign language, no less. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Scottish Cup ties is our main focus of attention, and of course just addressing some of the issues of players possibly coming in, some going out as well. One of your old muckers is up there at Ross County now. Jim O'Brien is signed there.
Yeah, I seen that, and good signing. Had a great time at Motherwell. Really, showed some great form. Good type, good player in the dressing room as well, and I think Ross County have got a good player in their hands here, and as we mentioned earlier about O'Halloran, and a player that could go and really make a difference. Then to me, Jim certainly falls into that category. Yeah,
I'm sure Jim McIntyre, as ever with Ross County in the January transfer window, are on the hunt for more players. They've come back from a winter break, and the Ross County boss, ahead of the game against Dundee United, is offering his opinion on whether the winter break is a worthwhile exercise.
Well, we had 1 week off. I think the players feel fresh, and when they came back to training, they looked as if they hadn't been away. So that was pleasing to see. Training's been, very bright. We've managed to fit in a bounce game as well, which gets us match ready for Dundee United on Saturday.
Are you a fan of winter breaks?
Yes. My week in Tenerife was testament to that. No, from a player's point of view, yes, I am. I think certainly from our point of view, it does give you a chance to recharge mentally, I think, more as well as physically. Get away, as I said, I think most teams probably did get a week off. The players get a time to get away, spend time with their family, and then we've had a couple of weeks back in to really sharpen up and get back into the games that are coming up, obviously. So yeah, it's been good. I can understand fans maybe frustrated without their football at this time of year when it's traditionally a busy time, but hopefully their enthusiasm is built over that period, and the fans are looking forward to getting back into it as well, as much as the players are. But overall, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, Gordon, I mentioned the fact that clubs, it could be crucial. The recruitment policy, obviously, the retention policy is equally as vital. I'm talking, of course, about Johnny Hayes of Aberdeen. I mean, a second offer's come in. Aberdeen have rejected it. They're digging their heels in now with regards to what many consider their best player.
Oh yeah, I mean this goes on. I'm seeing it so often, Peter, that we could be talking about this like at 5 to 12 on the 31st of January, because that's the way this business goes. They're making offers, and Aberdeen are knocking them back just now. But obviously they could already have in their mind what they're willing to pay, but they're just working their way towards that to see if they can get Aberdeen. It's like a game of poker in the transfer window. There's no doubt about it, and most of the deals will happen on the last day. It's mayhem when it gets near the end, but you just got to think that Aberdeen have got a price in mind that they will accept. Johnny Hayes is maybe saying, well, look, if you get the right price, he maybe has already made it clear he would like to go, because he's obviously going to get a much bigger salary going down south. He's 29 years of age, time of his career, but a move to England would be ideal for him. So there'll be a bit of both sides of it, but Aberdeen, it'd be difficult for them. What they should be doing, the worst thing about this window is if you lose a key player on the last day, you've got no time left then to recruit, and that sometimes annoys a lot of the managers. They can't get a player in to take over from that player they've just lost.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's switch our attention to one of the ties. Rangers Motherwell, obviously tie of the round, but Albion Rovers against Celtic at Airdrie Stadium certainly has glamour written all over it as far as the Rovers are concerned, because the money for it alone, Keith, I think from a point of Albion Rovers struggling financially, this gives them a bit of stability for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, even for our club going to Ibrox, I know Alan Burrows, our Chief Operating Officer, is delighted with the draw. Obviously, regardless of how difficult it may be, certainly from a financial point of view, it's fantastic for us. So, again, you multiply that again for a club like Albion Rovers, who, their turnover compared to what they'll get from this one game, I'd imagine, is a vast amount of money for them. So, no, it's absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure they'll be absolutely praying for a draw and get another little check through the post. But no, it's great, and the game's sold out, I think. So, it's a fantastic opportunity for Darren Young and his team to showcase their talents on the television and hopefully, as I said, give a good account of themselves.
Yeah, this was Darren's assessment of the tie on our programme.
Lose game for us. I mean, we'll go out there and we'll give it our best shot. I'm already got things going through your head. How do you play this? How do you play that? We've been to a few games scouting, watching them. But I think we kind of know their team, we know their squad, we know what it's all about. So we'll go out there and give it our best shot. And on the day, anything can happen.
And with that in mind, do you have particular players? I know it'll be a team effort, but do you have particular players that you feel have got something, even at your level, that wee bit special that they can maybe cause problems?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got guys with a bit of skill, pace, some of them right good finishers, and the guys at the back are pretty solid as well. So we've got a wee mix of everything, and there is guys there that I believe that can go on and progress and improve. We've had guys the last season or two that have gone on to full-time football, so that's my aim as a coach, as a manager as well, personally, and for the players, for them to improve, to them to get up to the next level, and for myself as well to improve and to progress onto sort of bigger and better things.
Would you be a happy manager with a replay?
Of course, a replay would be amazing, especially the club financially would be massive to go back to Parkhead and sort of play there. But I think you don't want to dream too big, but would you take a draw there now? Possibly.
Most certainly, Gordon, when we take a draw. I mean, it would be
possibly.
The only downside to it all, Gordon, is Celtic are not going to play a weakened team because of what's at stake for them.
Correct. That's the whole point of it. About it is, I mean, Darren was saying there, that the Celtic team's going to be. I don't think you really do, because they can change it about Celtic. They can bring in other players and still be strong, because they've got a really strong squad, very competitive squad, and there's no doubt about it. The manager has now got an aim, and he's told the players this. The aim is now the treble. It's not. The league's almost sewn up. It's a question of when for the league title. They've got the League Cup already. He wants a treble, and that's why they'll be very committed. And that's why I have to say I don't think Albion Rovers have got a chance. They will compete, but I just can't see them doing anything.
Well, apologies to all Albion Rovers fans. Not that I think you're saying anything out of turn, Gordon, but nevertheless. Okay, a couple of things I want to get your thoughts on. Of course, Scottish Cup ties, I think, are a huge drain on the finances of fans as well, because some people put out all their money on season tickets, and then you're asking them to pay for additional cup matches as well, which is sometimes where in certain clubs you get a reduced attendance. St Johnstone and Stenhousemuir, I think they've finally agreed to drop the price from £23 to £15. I think competitive pricing is still something that we need to address on a regular basis, Keith.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think that's sensible, that sort of price point. I think asking people to pay £23 to go and watch that match. I think the £15 is as you say, when fans are already shelled out a lot of money for their season tickets and etc. This January is a notoriously a month that the money is tight, and it's good that the clubs are recognising that and making a gesture in that form. So yeah, it's difficult on the ticket prices. I know even at our club at Motherwell, when John Boyle first came in, I can remember him trying all sorts of different schemes and ways to get and try and encourage more fans.
He was very disappointed with it though,
yeah,
wasn't
he was.
Because they dropped the prices and they never got the reaction that he thought he might get, Peter. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, Kilmarnock as a football club, tried every possible financial incentive they could to induce people to try and get them out and into the grounds. It didn't quite work out. Listen, just before we go, I've got to obviously ask you about the coaching. Congratulations, you've passed your pro licence, and again, that must give you a huge boost for the future and what you hope to do in the future.
Yeah, no, definitely, Peter. It's you know, it's quite a big thing. It's quite a prestigious course, and you know, the chance to get on it and complete it as I have done now has been great. It's been a great experience. Been to a lot of, you know, been out to UEFA, been out to under 21s European Championships last year. So it's been a great, you know, a great learning curve for me. It's helped me form, you know, my idea of hopefully how I would approach things, given the chance going forward. And it's, yeah, as I said, it's a big thing. I'm helping out Crags at the under 20s at the moment, just trying to get a little bit of experience, and you know, hopefully it's something down further down the line, or you know, I'm determined to make it something further down the line that I'll be involved in. Or, you know, hopefully a while yet, because I still feel as if I can contribute on the part. But you know, it's you know, the course has been fantastic in terms of helping me get my thoughts together and what I would do.
Well, listen, we wish you well in the future, and of course at the weekend, going to be involved in a cracking cup tie, Rangers against Motherwell. I'll have an off-air chat with Keith on the section in the course when media becomes a pain in the butt to you and you have to change your mobile. It's a Stonewall certainty that's been covered. Thanks to Keith Lasley of Motherwell. Thanks to Gordon Smith. Join us tomorrow. Darian McKinnon of Hamilton Accies will be our special guest. From everyone here, good night.